All right, let's jump right in. Today we're tackling one of the biggest, maybe the biggest question in tech right now. How do you teach a machine right from wrong? And we're not just talking about code here. This is about embedding our deepest values into tools that are becoming unbelievably powerful.
So picture this. It's like you have a super smart, all-powerful genie. You get one wish and you say, I wish to end world hunger. Now, what does the genie do? Does it conjure up enough food for everyone? Or does it just eliminate all the hungry people? See, the problem isn't the genie's power. It's that it followed your words literally, not what you actually meant. That right there is the core of the AI alignment problem.
So the fancy term for this is AI alignment. And really, it's about making sure these incredibly complex systems are actually working for us, that they're chasing our goals and sticking to our ethics. Because when alignment fails, it's not just a simple bug. We're talking about real-world harm. Think amplifying bias, supercharging misinformation. You get the idea. This is absolutely a critical safety feature, not some optional add-on.
Okay, so let's get into the AI alignment problem. If alignment is the goal, you gotta wonder, why is it so dang hard to get right? Well, to really get a handle on the solution, we first have to understand the massive problem that developers are wrestling with, every single day. For a long time, the guiding stars for AI behavior have been these three principles. You'll hear them called the HHH framework: be helpful, honest, and harmless. Sounds simple, right? The AI should answer your question, tell the truth, and, not give you instructions for building a bomb. Straightforward enough, or so you'd think. Well, it turns out these three H's are constantly fighting with each other. It's a real tug of war. For example, if you crank up the harmless dial too high, the AI becomes this frustratingly evasive lawyer, refusing to answer perfectly normal but sensitive questions. But if you lean too hard into helpful, it might just give you exactly what you asked for, even if that's something incredibly dangerous. It's a classic trade-off. So the old school way to try and balance this was a mouthful. Reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF for short. Basically, it was a giant rating system. You'd get thousands and thousands of people to sit there and give a thumbs up or a thumbs down to every AI response. As you can imagine, this process is just painfully slow. It's super expensive, and a lot of the time, it just produced those really cautious, I'd prefer not to answer models. All right, now for part 2, teaching AI with rules. So you've got this slow, expensive, and kind of flawed process of human feedback. What do? Well, some really smart researchers, particularly at a lab called Anthropic, came up with a pretty radical idea. They asked, what if you could just teach the AI a set of rules? And that, my friends, is the big idea behind something called constitutional AI. This is the game changer right here. What if, instead of having humans judge every single answer, you just gave the AI a rule book, a constitution, and taught it how to judge itself? You're basically teaching the AI to be its own referee, to call its own vowels. It's a huge shift in thinking. So here's how it works, and it's basically a 2-step dance. In step 1, the AI kind of trains itself. It'll generate a response, then it looks at its own work and critiques it against one of the rules in the Constitution, and then it rewrites it to be better. Think of it as creating a much improved first draft. Then comes step 2. You have a different AI that acts like a judge. It looks at 2 different responses and, using the Constitution, it picks the better of the 2. You do this millions and millions of times, and you end up with this massive library of good choices that you use to train the final model. It's AI training AI. So what's actually in this Constitution? Well, it's not some ancient scroll. It's more like a mixtape of principles from all over the place. You've got big, heavy-hitter stuff like the UN's Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But you've also got really modern things like Apple's Terms of Service and even rules borrowed from other AI labs like DeepMind. And some of it is just plain common sense they learned from trial and error, like a rule that basically tells the AI, hey, try not to be a condescending jerk.
And the result of all this? It's something economists get really excited about called a Pareto improvement. And all that means is that it's a win-win. Remember that old trade-off between being helpful and being harmless? Well, constitutional AI kind of breaks it. The models trained this way ended up being both more helpful and more harmless than the ones trained by humans. You're not sacrificing one for the other. You're improving both at the same time. That's a huge deal. But, of course, it's not all sunshine and roses. This new method has its own set of really tough challenges and some pretty sharp critiques.
And that brings us to what you might call the constitutional crisis. Okay, so probably the number one critique is something called the translation problem. It's easy to write down a principle like be harmless, but how do you translate that human idea into the millions of tiny mathematical adjustments that actually control an AI's brain? It's like trying to explain the concept of love using only ones and zeros. There's this massive gap between the abstract rule and the nitty-gritty code, and frankly, nobody has a perfect answer for how to bridge it. And that translation problem leads to an even bigger, thornier question. Who gets to write the Constitution? I mean, think about it. The old human feedback method was messy, sure, but at least the power was spread out among thousands of people. Constitutional AI, on the other hand, puts all that power into the hands of a very small group of developers. And there's a real risk they end up imposing their own specific values on a global user base. Some critics call this creating an algorithmic monoculture, where one set of rules governs everyone. And this just creates a fundamental paradox, doesn't it? The whole point of constitutional AI is to scale up safety by taking humans out of the loop, right? To make it automated. But at the exact same time, you have regulators, ethicists, and governments all screaming for more human oversight, for more accountability. These two goals, they're not just different, they're on a direct collision course. And here's a crucial reality check. A constitution is just a layer of paint on a finished car. It's applied after the AI has already sucked up a huge, messy, unfiltered chunk of the internet. So yeah, you can teach it new rules, but you can't erase all the biases and weird connections it's already learned from all that human text. Think of it as a set of guardrails, not a complete mind wipe. Okay, so all of this forces us to zoom way out and look at the next big frontier, aligning a global AI. How on earth do we align an AI that's not just operating globally, but might one day be smarter than any of us? This is the million-dollar question, sometimes called scalable oversight. Right now, our safety net is a human checking the AI's work. Simple enough. But what happens when the AI is spitting out solutions for quantum physics or designing new proteins, things that no single human on Earth can fully understand or verify? At that point, our whole system of human oversight just completely falls apart. So one really interesting idea being explored is called AI safety via debate. It's pretty cool. You get two AIs to argue with each other in front of a human judge. AA presents its case, and AB's entire job is to poke holes in it and find flaws. The theory is that even if you're not a quantum physicist, you can still tell which debater is making more sense and being more honest. It's easier to judge the argument than it is to be an expert on the subject. But there is another elephant in the room. Cultural bias. Let's be honest, today's big AI models are, well, they're pretty weird. And that's an acronym. Western, educated, industrialized, rich, and democratic. Why? Because they're mostly trained on English text from the internet, and they're built by teams in the US and Europe. So if we create one single constitution for all AI, we run a massive risk of just cementing that bias and basically exporting one culture's values to the entire planet. So where do we go from here? Look, there's no silver bullet. The path forward is really a three-part strategy. First, we have to be data-centric. That means cleaning up and diversifying the data before we even start training. Garbage in, garbage out, right? Second, we need to be model-centric, using smarter techniques like constitutional AI to fine-tune the models. And third, we've got to be human-centric, which means coming up with clever new ways for us to keep an eye on systems that are way, way smarter than we are. You need all three. And all of this brings us right back to the ultimate question. Because as these systems get more and more powerful, you realize this isn't just a technical challenge anymore. It's a question of governance, of power, of philosophy. So I'll leave you with this. Who should get to write the rulebook for an AI that will eventually be smarter than all of its creators combined? That's not a question for a handful of developers in Silicon Valley. It's a question for all of us.